Hey teachers, you are in the home stretch. Here's day 8's overview. We are introducing the causes of the Civil War for today. In the beginning, we're going to ask kids how they're feeling with some emojis, which is actually going to connect to their activity that they're going to do at the very end of today's lesson. So we're going to have a little bit of an overview of the causes of the Civil War era. Notice that we're kind of focusing on that slavery, states' rights, and we're going to include sectionalism as well in that. So to preview that, we're going to look at some Quizlet flashcard vocabulary. Some of the feedback from students has been that they really appreciated having that Quizlet to kind of help them that they could refer back to. So they're going to do the learn and the match when they go to that Quizlet link, and they're going to figure out which words from the flashcards best fit in each of these sentences. On the next slide, we have just a kind of a preview on some information on how did the expansion of slavery lead to increased sectionalism and the debate over states' rights. So the key here is for kids to understand that the expansion of slavery as more land was acquired out west, and the question of, well, what is that going to be, slave or free, is really going to bleed over into these two other issues of sectionalism, right? As slavery expands, the North and the South become more and more different and more reliant on different economic activity. And the question of states' rights comes into play, right? States believe that they have the right to decide whether or not slavery should be allowed in their state. So that overview is really important, which leads into the events that lead into the Civil War. So our guiding question is, could compromise have saved the U.S. from the Civil War? Now, each of these links, we kind of want them to see the timeline to understand how that this is occurring over time, right? Not overnight. And each of these links are going to go to the slide for that event. So they're going to watch some videos and look at some visuals. And there are some kids that, would rather read instead of do the videos. So there's also a link here in which they can get very similar information from. Either way, we still want them to answer these questions, right, to process. So first they'll be looking at the Missouri Compromise, watching the video on the slide and then answering the questions. The same with Compromise at 1850, except it's kind of the fill-in-the-blank format. Fugitive Slave Act would be next. Halfway through, we're giving kids a little bit of a brain break before they dive into the next three events: Kansas, Nebraska, a video, some questions. By the way, the videos are really short, about 2 minutes each. And then Dred Scott, and finally the election of Lincoln. Now, I do want to address how the accommodated slides look different. So instead of kind of having one video per slide and questions to answer for each one, the accommodated version is going to be more of a drag and drop. So you'll notice it's the same events. There's still video clips, but the students are either dragging and dropping the description of the event on the chart, or they could simply type in the letter if they're having some struggles there. Sorry, my computer's running super slow today. So that's the difference there. No matter if they're on level or accommodated, the culminating activity is still the same. There's some sentence stems right here. So once they've seen all of those events leading to the Civil War, think of this as kind of a word bank, they're going to choose the event that they thought made the North the most upset, the event that made the South most upset, and explain why. And then finally, they're coming to a conclusion. That's one of our process skills we're working on, is compromise could or could not save the Union, and then give some evidence there. So that is the end of day 8. Their checklist is here to help them. Thank you so much for all you do, and have a great day.